What's up, peoples? So we're going to talk some boxing. Let's talk about a number of different things. But the first one I want to talk about is assessment of Canelo by Max Kellerman by Boxing Ego. I find it very interesting that both of them, Boxing Ego and Max Kellerman, were wrong about Canelo. So I'll start off with Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman obviously has different things to say about Canelo. One of the things he said was, in spite of the close decisions that Canelo got in his favor because he's the golden boy, he's continued to go through certain opposition at the top tier level and defeat them. Now, first of all, Max Kellerman is wrong about Canelo having a close decision with Austin Trout. I do not believe that happened. Secondly, he said that the first Triple G fight, Canelo got the decision in that one, when he basically is inferring that Triple G he thought clearly won. He also talks about Aristotle Lara fight and how Canelo also got the decision on that. Here's what I got to say. For those people, even said the second Triple G fight was close and Daniel Jacobs fight was close. Here's what I got to say about that. One, who won the first? If you say that Aristotle Lara beat Canelo, remember Aristotle Lara was sticking and moving, all right? Then you cannot say that Triple G beat Canelo in the first fight, because that's exactly what Canelo was doing, but much more complex, much more Floyd Mayweather-like, using the Michigan defense off the ropes. So if you're saying that he was rolling a lot of punches and a lot of things, he was slipping and rolling and all that. So if you're saying that Canelo lost to Triple G, then you're inferring that Canelo beat Aristotle Lara. You got to be consistent, one way or the other. All right? And I would argue that Canelo actually made Triple G miss more than Aristotle Lara made Canelo miss. Because Triple G could never establish his jab. And he couldn't cut off the ring. Whereas Canelo, as the fight progressed, cut off the ring on Aristotle Lara. And Aristotle Lara slipped in a corner. All right? So that's what I remember. I don't know about you guys. So I'm just saying, you got to be consistent one way or the other. And that's my criticism of Max Kellerman's statements. Furthermore, Max Kellerman talks about close decisions with, Daniel Jacobs. And Canelo won that fight against Daniel Jacobs 8-4. All right? It wasn't close. Canelo beat Triple G 9-3 the first fight. The second fight, 8-4. He beat Aristotle Lara 7-5. It was a close fight. 7-5. He came back, he pulled it off. All right? Aristotle Lara basically took the first 3 rounds. Fourth round, Canelo started coming on. You could argue whoever won that round. I'm going to give it to Aristotle Lara. But after that, it was a Canelo show after that, until somewhere around the 10th round. As after Aristotle Lara slipped the 10th round, he came back. And then it was a to and fro in the 11th and the 12th. Right? Canelo was the aggressor. He was really coming for Aristotle Lara to try and knock his ass out. So, at the end of the day, 7-5 for Canelo, or even 8-4 for Canelo, I could see happening. All right? It wasn't a close fight. Well, that one, Canelo came from behind anyway to win. That's how that fight went. And if you know boxing, you'll understand what I'm saying. Anyway, so Max Kellerman made those statements in his intro. Boxing Eagle criticized Max Kellerman for saying those statements, saying you don't praise biasness, or you don't praise. The judges are supposed to be unbiased, so they're not supposed to favor the golden boy or the A side. Okay, but this is what I have to say. I have to say that Canelo gave Triple G a rematch. Didn't give Aristotle Lara a rematch, mind you. He did give Triple G a rematch, and he beat him soundly. Okay, Austin Trout, I don't understand why he would have to give Austin Trout a rematch, but he couldn't, because his next fight was against Floyd Mayweather. But quite frankly, I don't see how they could say that Austin Trout. Here's the sad thing about things, right? I thought Danny Garcia beat Triple G. Triple G knocked down Danny Garcia early on. It was a flash knockdown. Not like Austin Trout. Austin Trout's knockdown. Austin Trout was not off balance. He got knocked down. Okay, it was a comprehensive knockdown. All right, but be that as it may, Austin Trout uses jab as much. What people get confused with is because Austin Trout was using the jab, everybody on him was being aggressive. Everybody thought that Austin Trout was taking control of the fight. He wasn't, because he wasn't hitting Canelo. This is the thing. Canelo decided to become elusive, box off the back foot, and so he changed up his game plan and he started boxing off the back foot because he thought he had a healthy lead against Austin Trout, something like what Keith Thurman did to Danny Garcia. So, again, listening to people talk who don't know what they're seeing in the ring really bothers me. It really does. All right, and politicize things. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So, Boxing Ego criticized Max Kellerman for applauding Canelo's getting the decision because he was the golden boy and accepting that. And I also 100% agree. You shouldn't be applauding those things. And I agree with Boxing Ego on that. However, Max Kellerman went on to say that Canelo has a James Toney kind of defense. And he said he looks like James Toney in the ring when he's fighting these fighters now. So he's a Mexican fighter, but he don't fight Mexican. He fight with defense, and yet he's willing to come and trade with you and fight with you and stuff like that. So Max Kellerman was praising Canelo for those things. Boxing Ego now comes across and decides to open his mouth and say something that he does not understand, uneducated. He goes and he says, Max Kellerman comparing Canelo to James Toney is wrong because James Toney is another era, totally different style, etc. Now, I do agree with Boxing Ego to some degree that Canelo's not just James Toney. So I don't know why everybody keeps on talking about Canelo being James Toney. He's not James Toney. But where Boxing Ego is absolutely incontrovertibly wrong, Canelo does use a style like James Toney at times. Okay? Canelo uses what is called the Michigan defense or the Michigan guards, like Floyd Mayweather, like James Toney. In addition, Canelo, like Adrian Broner, like James Toney, like Mike McCallum at times, will fight in the pocket with you and use that defense so you cannot touch them. Now, Canelo more uses something called, trying to remember the Argentinian boxer who made this famous. I can't remember his name right now. Very famous defensive Argentinian boxer. It'll come to me. Nicolino Loche. Where he will dip his head into the pocket and sort of induce you to throw a jab. And he will slip outside of the true line and keep on testing with his head first before he gets his body into the pocket. And Canelo inches into the pocket, all right? And if you look at how he's inching in, he's using what Eric Bradley would call remote footwork, meaning his upper body's not in the same alignment with his lower body. In addition, though Canelo uses a different kind of movement that's unique to Canelo, he also is able to move his upper body different places and therefore keep outside of the line that you're trying to fire at and it throw you off. And it's what we call special effects. It's an illusion. Okay? Now, Pernell Whitaker did it. James Toney did it. Mike McCallum did it. Floyd Mayweather did it, right? But he could also block shots. So Canelo could also block shots straight on. He'd catch it or block it or roll it. Okay? Some of it is Mexican. So Canelo is a combination of many different great fighters. And you can go listen to Eric Bradley break that down. Okay? Go and watch The Fight Doctor on Master Boxing. Eric Bradley will show you he used Julio Cesar Chavez at some times. He used Floyd Mayweather at some times. He used Pernell Whitaker at some times. He used from James Toney at some times. He borrowed from different people. Eric Morales at times. Okay? So why I'm saying that is because a lot of people don't understand boxing. So when Max Kellerman said that he looked kind of like James Toney in there, he was right. At certain occasions, he was looking like James Toney in there because Danny Jacobs just couldn't hit him. Okay? And this is so against Gennady Golovkin as well, where he's right in the pocket with Canelo and Canelo is not getting touched by him. He's throwing a whole bunch of shots and he's not getting Canelo. And Canelo, not only does he kind of incorporate a style as something like Floyd Mayweather's, and that's why I said I've been saying this for the longest while, and I told you guys this for the longest while. Canelo's like a bigger Floyd. He's not Floyd Mayweather. We know that. But what I'm saying is he's a defensive fighter. And it's not as a lot of people think that Canelo is easily hit with a jab. Not really. Just like with Floyd, he's not easily hit with a jab. You can touch jab him, Canelo, and that fools you into thinking you got him in range. So you fire off your power jab and you realize you're not hitting nothing. You fire off your power shots and you realize you're not hitting anything. Canelo's tricky. A very tricky fighter. Very, very tricky fighter. Okay? So, a lot of special effects with Canelo. He's refining them, of course. He's a little bit awkward and clumsy sometimes with what he does, but he got a lot of special effects. And he's had it from a very long time ago, and that's what Floyd saw. Anyways, so when Boxing Ego starts to talk about that Canelo has nothing like James Toney, I laugh. Because Coach Eric Bradley already talked about this. All right, I already talked about this. Why we say he's like James Toney is because he stays more in the pocket than, say, Floyd Mayweather, who fight you sometimes outside the pocket, uses jab or uses feints to keep you unsettled, which leads me to another point. Canelo uses a lot of feints. What I always talk to you guys about, a system of feints. That's something James Toney used to do. That's something Floyd Mayweather used to do, Pernell Whitaker, etc., to keep your opponent off base. So Canelo doesn't always just throw jabs all the time, like Danny Jacobs was doing. Nope. He feints you one way. He uses footwork, foot feints, head feints, shoulder feints, body feints, eye feints, facial feints, all kinds of feints, okay? And again, this is a guy who's studying the craft of boxing. Now, everybody thinks of Canelo as a combination of a boxer, but Danny Jacobs realized he's a pot shotter. Canelo's actually a pot shotter. Who's pot shotting? Floyd Mayweather, James Toney, Mike McCallum. They're all pot shotters. Now, they crash you and throw combinations and stuff, but they're really pot shotters. So a lot of things people just don't understand about boxing. And Boxing Ego was absolutely incontrovertibly wrong when he said that Canelo has nothing in common with James Toney. And one of the things I got to tell Boxing Ego, you hating Canelo on the slight, bro. And it's sad because I feel sorry for you, because here's the thing. Most of your news about Canelo is always some kind of negative thing. You do on occasion publish something positive because you have to. But most of it, you look at Julio Cesar Chavez saying negative things about Canelo. You didn't defend Canelo. You had nothing to say. Oh, look at it. Julio Cesar always critical of Canelo. And I'm just saying to myself, what's your problem with Canelo? He ain't black. So you have a problem with that he's not black? Are you always pro-black? Or what is your story, bro? First of all, Canelo, all right, is pound for pound #1 fighter in the world. Because nobody else got that resume. Nobody. Manny Pacquiao has a resume something like that. But Manny Pacquiao, and he should be high up in the pound for pound rankings, by the way. But Manny Pacquiao, I would say, right now, as of now, hasn't accomplished as much as Canelo has accomplished. Canelo, as of right now, I'm not talking about the body of work that he's done. He's accomplished a hell of a lot more than Canelo has ever done in his life, in terms of his body of work. But as of now, talking about currently, Manny Pacquiao hasn't accomplished as much as Canelo has accomplished. What do I mean by that? In the middleweight division, Canelo has 2 of the 3 belts. 3 of the 4 belts, sorry. Okay? Now, we must remember that J-Rock just beat, forgot his name, who was dominating the division, okay? Nobody thought that he could get beaten, and he got beat by J-Rock, okay? So if he got beat by J-Rock, it means Canelo could get beat by somebody, maybe Demetrius Andrade. I was 100% wrong about J-Rock. I was 100% wrong about, what's that dude's name? Who beat, I didn't even stop the dude. I think Ishe Smith, he stopped him. What's his name? Mike Tyson used to promote him. Southpaw. He got stopped by Jamel Charlo, I think, knocked him out. I forgot what his name is. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. And then Tony Harrison, he just beat Jamel Charlo, to become the WBC champion. So, look, man, I can't count out, say, for instance, Demetrius Andrade beating Canelo, because I don't know until I actually see it. But as of now, I don't think he can. But that's my opinion, okay? So we've seen some upsets from guys who were challenging other guys. And I mean, J-Rock comprehensively beat, what's his name? Jarrett Hurd. He comprehensively beat Jarrett Hurd. Okay? Comprehensively beat him. I don't know if Hurd he's outgrown the division or what. That's an excuse, of course. Excuses. But Jarrett Hurd lost that fight. Comprehensively. Right? Tony Harrison comprehensively beat Jamel Towler. That's what it is. They're going to have a rematch soon. But let's get back to what we're talking about. So, my point is this. Canelo is the dominating force in the middleweight division, as he was the dominating force in junior middleweight. And it's just what it is. Now, what people got to understand is Canelo got defense. He's got defense. That, you know who Ego needs to talk with? Troy King. Troy King. Troy King would break down to Ego what was going on in that ring with Canelo and Jacobs, Canelo and GGG, Canelo and GGG, Canelo and Austin Trout, Canelo and Aristotle Lara, Canelo and Floyd Mayweather. The only difference, why Canelo, since Canelo has been beaten by Floyd, a lot of people were like, he's all hype and blah. The dude is the real thing. All right? Even though he was beaten by Floyd, he was like Dante Boxing Nation correctly said. He was doing the right things. He was trying to do the right things. It's just that Floyd was much more experienced, much quicker. And also, you know, because of his experience, was able to do certain things to Canelo that Canelo had never seen before. You know, he had no idea, no clue about. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys before I talk about the upcoming fights. So, I believe Deontay Wilder is going to be facing Dominic Brazil this coming weekend. We'll see what happens with that. Anyway, on that note, if you guys want to leave any comments, leave the comments in the comment section below. Don't forget that you can also subscribe. I need more subscribers so I can do live streams. I also need you to share this video. And of course, like I said, you can comment. But also, more importantly, you can also donate to my channel. I'll be happy for any donations. You get it via Western Union or MoneyGram. I'll send you the information so that you can send the money to me. All right, guys. Peace to you guys. Deuces. I'll be talking more boxing with you guys later. But here, have a good one. Javante Davis versus Tevin Farmer. It's heating up, man. It's heating up. We'll see if it actually comes to fruition. And of course, Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman is now in July. As well as we have I can't remember the fight that crystallized. I can't remember what it is. Oh, yes. Sean Porter versus Errol Spence. All right. Peace to you guys. Deuces. I'm out.